Hey guys, we're back here for some more Standard. I'm currently Mythic 120, and I've been jamming a lot of games here on ladder for with both Naya humans and Boros humans, and just trying all kinds of configurations. So I've settled on kind of sort of like the best value approach that I could think of after numerous iterations. So some of these are somewhat untested, but I think that they actually will do very well. The most recent version, I did test a couple games, and it's been doing great. So here is the most updated version of NAYAHUMANS. The nice thing is that all these games were captured in the data for Untapped GG as I was able to play from home today. So you'll see a ton of different analysis for the different specific matchups. And the win rate did come down a little bit with all the different types of variations I was trying, but this is, I think, will be kind of the best build of Naya that I'm looking at. So I updated the mana base a little bit. First off, you have 21 lands, and with the addition of 2 copies of Thran Portal, which gives us access to basically another duel, that does cost 1 life to activate, though, so it is very painful. I took out the brush lands and also took out the basic plains, just because with 3 colors we kind of really can't afford a basic in this deck just to optimize it. And there are so few times that I've seen land destruction happen that it just doesn't really seem to matter that much. So with that said, we've got the 4 copies of Caverns of Souls, 4 copies of Secluded Courtyard, which we'll name Human, which can cast anything in the deck. And then we have 3 copies of Mirrex for 1 turn to do any color of mana that we need. 4 copies of Razor Verge Thicket for untapped green-white lands. And then 4 copies of Battlefield Forge for pain lands for red and white. And then 2 copies of Thran Portal. So basically with this setup, we have a total of, I believe, 17 sources of green, 17 sources of red, and 21 sources of white. And then with the creature base, I basically looked at doing slots of 2 copies of each of the legends, and just tried to find the ones that gave the most value. So like every card in this deck, I want to, have like just maximum value for what it's doing. So like Adeline, again, you know this is a great card. It creates tokens when it attacks, etc. Tauren's Fist of the Angels is another one that just can really go off. Every creature that you cast will create a 1/1 green and white human soldier with a token with training, which means that when you attack with a larger creature and it will then also grow. Just like Hopeful Initiate. So we also have 2 copies of Anim Pakal, another great value card here that starts growing with attacks. And then I did include 4 copies of Hamlet Vanguard, which has just been a total house. It's, for every human or non-token human that you control when you play it, this gets 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and it's a ward 2 creature. So typically you'll go like turn 1 guy, turn 2 guy, and then turn 3 it's a 5/5 ward 2. So it's just amazing. I put in 2 copies of Spellbook Vendor, which I'm super happy about. This is just such a great value card, and it's been kind of floating around in mono white for a while, but it's just, generates an immense amount of value. I also put back an Inti, which I'm really happy about. And then I also added Baird. So this is one that you may not be as familiar with, but with this guy, at the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature that has power greater than its base power, you will create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. And so this basically in this deck is like a free guy every turn. Almost every creature here has some way to get higher than its regular base power. Like Warden of the Inner Sky can pump itself. You have Coppercoat Vanguard, which pumps other humans. You have Spellbook Vendor, which gives a roll token, which increases power. Inti discards cards to increase power. Catilda, you can tap your team to increase power. Adeline has great a higher power based on the number of creatures. Immodane's Recruiter pumps everyone's power. Like, everything in this deck basically triggers Baird. So it seems like an auto inclusion, and I think it's going to be really great tech. And then I have like 2 copies of Recruitment Officer, because again, this is another card that can generate value in the late game if you kind of get stalled on, you know, what to do, and you have extra mana lying around. Warden of the Inner Sky can, you know, pump itself up and get Vigilance and Flying eventually. Lunarch Veteran is there for mono red, basically. But yeah, I think this is going to be maybe the best shell for the Naya deck. I did take out Resolute Reinforcements and the Knight Errant of Eos package, and part of the reason was I just couldn't really fit in all of the really powerful boom booms at the 3-drop slot, because I really wanted Hamlet Vanguard in this deck. With Catilda also, you want to be able to have another way to generate green mana to then tap Catilda to buff your whole team, and so having a number of other green creatures really helps with that, since otherwise we're sitting on like 4 Razor Verge Thicket is the only way of doing it. So yeah, I brought back in Kellen, who just basically like taps to draw a card, it seems like, whenever he attacks. So at any rate, I'm really happy with this Naya build. I think it's going to be great. I hope you guys try it. I did also want to mention that I looked at updating the Boros Humans deck, and I think this just made it a lot better, a lot more streamlined, and I'd love for you guys to try this one out too. So basically I changed the mana base here a little bit. We do have 1 basic plane, 21 lands, and then I added 1 Thran Portal as another way to get essentially a duel. So we have 4 Battlefield Forge for Pain lands. This is sort of like the 5th Pain land in a sense. I put in 2 Sokenzin and 2 Iganjo, and I really kind of upped the number of red creatures in the deck. Kind of similar with the Naya build, I did add in 2 copies of Baird, who again in this deck has just buckets of ways to get triggered by other creatures that have like increased power. So I think this is going to be a great card in this deck. And then I also put in a Neem Pakal. I upped the Adeline count, which feels great. Put in Spellbook Vendor. Inti is back in the deck. Kellen is back in the deck. Yeah, so this again just is pretty much like all the value cards. I think I have 1 copy of Thalia in both this version and also the NAYAHUMANS version. You know, again, it is a mono creature deck, and I wanted to squeak out every last little bit of value, so you definitely do want this, but, you know, drawing multiples is maybe not as interesting, so that's kind of the way I went with this version. The Boros deck does have the Knight Errant of Eos and Resolute Reinforcements package, since it is a bit more focused, and so its 3-drop slot is not quite as filled out, and the Knight Errant sort of picks up that role. Also, the nice thing with Boros is that we have access to 2 Iganjos and 2 Sokenzins, which are quite good in this deck with all the legends we have flying around. So I think that this will be a really kind of more streamlined, focused, powerful version of Boros. But I actually think that both the decks are fairly even in terms of power level, and just kind of go with whatever feels best for you. So I'm going to do maybe a game with a little bit of both, actually. So I'm going to start with Boros today. We'll try it out, and then maybe we'll shift into Naya. But yeah, I've just been really happy kind of futzing around with these decks and just making changes, and it's been really great. Like playing in like the top 100 to 200 Mythic, and just sort of seeing what's out there. So there's a lot of really powerful decks, but it's been fun. But I do think that both of these decks absolutely have what it takes to get you to Mythic. Okay, this is a great hand, but we need another land. This looks a lot better. So here I think we're going to toss a land back. Let's throw back the Mirrex, and then I think we should be good to go. if I have like Secluded Courtyard and Cavern of Souls, I typically lead out with a Secluded Courtyard, just so, you know, there might be a situation where like a blue player will like hold up a counter spell hoping that it's going to work, and then like, whoops, we've got Cavern of Souls. So just like a little minor play, but, you know, not to lead out with it just immediately. I want to get the other veteran going, but this is, I think this is the Picnic Ruiner deck. We just want to get Capricoat Vanguard down here for the, just because it's the most mana efficient. And then I think we don't really want to offer the trade here. We want to keep gaining life, so I think we just are gonna sit. There is an argument for attack in there, though, I suppose, because like if they like pump it up, it becomes more dangerous. So yeah, maybe in retrospect it'd be better. I think because this can get pumped up and get quite scary, I think maybe we do want to actually make this trade. The only consideration would be getting out Knight Errant of Eos. So, this is kind of tough. Yeah, I guess let's let it ride for now. We might end up paying for it later. I guess they might just make the choice here for us, but if we can get this Knight Errant out, that would definitely feel great. Maybe this is just more of like just a mono red deck that just happens to run Cacophony Scamp. That could be it. So yeah, I think we're never blocking here then. Okay, kind of a whiff here, but yeah, we're happy to grab another veteran. And I guess they've had enough. But yeah, kind of what led me to the changes in the decks was that I was just looking at cards and I realized that, like, you know, every card you want to really look at under the microscope, like, is this card going to be good in a vacuum? And so, like, you want to try to get as many 2-for-1s in your deck as you possibly can. And, you know, even cards like Resolute Reinforcements, you know, you get 2 pieces of, you know, virtual plastic for a single card, which is still quite powerful. So yeah, this hand looks good. A little slow, but that's okay. All right, we want to make sure to play Thran Portal on turn 2 so it doesn't come in tapped. But yeah, let's start out with Courtyard. And let's go with, I guess let's go with red since we've got this Sokens in here. And I think let's just start, I guess let's start with Inti. Actually, let's do Reinforcements end of turn. into Night Errant. That feels a little bit better.
So unfortunately no 1-drop here, but I'm still happy to go searching for 2s.
Yeah, and very happy for this pickup. So I think we're going to grab Vanguard and Spellbook Vendor here. Kellen is also great, but we're up against, looks like Domain, so I kind of want to get going. Start pushing damage here pretty soon. Okay, I guess this is Mardu. And then with Celestis, they're setting up for what looks like maybe some sort of board wipe next turn. I guess they need another white source if they're going to do Sunfall. How do I want to do this? Let's go Coppercoat plus Baird. This is a pretty big presentment, so like if they have the white, it's super rough. Burn down the house, yeah. I knew there was a possibility that they would have board wipes there, but wanted to push as much damage as possible. It's possible there that I should have only played the Coppercoat and not the Baird. That probably would have been better, actually. But we have a pretty decent rebuild here. So we can go... Let's see... Set up with INT plus Spellbook. And then I think INT is a slightly more powerful effect, so let's put this on Spellbook Vendor, in case they decide to get rid of one of them. Hopefully they don't have like another board wipe. Oof, Chandra is rough.
War ends today. Everyone is lost to Pyrexia.
Okay, the good news is we can Sokens in and take out Chandra, which we're totally going to do. But yeah, that was pretty brutal. I think, yeah, in Boros we have one basic to go search for. So that's kind of nice. Okay, so they got Archfiend out. Yeah, I guess we just try to set up a board a little bit. We'll hold the Cavernous Souls for now. Breach. Yuck. So yeah, this is your standard just like board wipe / value deck. Burn down the house. I was not thinking of that card. So we lose 2 if we block with Veteran anyways, so I think we just take the 3 here. Okay, so now we need a flyer to block the Archfiend of the Dross. So we'll get that going. Then we can Knight Errant. We kind of want to knock Chandra down, though. I think we want to knock Chandra down at least 1, so it can't just kill the Knight Errant. Actually, the problem is that Chandra's still going to be able to kill our Veteran in the air, so I think we might just be dead if they see it. I guess we can, like, search for... Do we have any outs here? I think if we play Veteran first, then if we search for 3, we have to be able to block Archfiend of the Dross. Yeah, I'm not really sure if we have an out here. Baird and Thalia. Guess we'll go with Thalia here. Like, Bear doesn't do anything right now. Yeah, and unfortunately they just use Chandra to kill Luminous Phantom, then we die. So yeah, I think we went a little overboard early on where we could have held back one of our 2-drops before the first board wipe. That's a tough one, though. All right, let's jump into the Naya deck here. I kind of want to do a little bit of both. So let's try Naya. I'll have a link in the description for both of these deck lists. Also, if you are new, please consider subscribing if you like my content. It really does help my channel quite a bit. And for returning viewers, thank you guys so much again for being here. I really do appreciate you. Okay, this hand looks great. We have tons of stuff to do. Let's start with Razor Verge Thicket. And we just kind of do it all here. So I think we want to go Catilda into Lunarch Veteran. Or actually, never mind. Hang on. Do we want this for red so we can play Baird? I think we want this for white so we can do Adeline and Catilda. Yeah, so let's start with Catilda. If they kill it, it's unfortunate. Hopefully we get off to the races here. Okay, that was great. So now we can go into Adeline, which is pretty great. I think we just want to go Adeline here. Hamlet Vanguard's only a 3/3 right now, so let's try Adeline first. And we hope they don't ever move for Adeline. And I think we just take whatever they throw at us this turn, so like next turn we can go like Veteran into Hamlet Guard and like something stupid like that. Did have removal. That's unfortunate. I think we still do not block here to try to get Veteran plus Adeline going. And we don't want to just give him a card. Okay, that was a nice draw. See if we can claw our way back into the game here. So we are starting to get a little low, I think. I think maybe we... Oh, man. I think we still don't block here, though. It's like we take 3, go to 8. Yeah, I think we don't block. Force him to have it. Okay, Spellbook Vendor works. Do we want Vendor or do we just want maybe Veteran instead? It's like this way we like gain life on both the way in and the way out. I kind of like that. Like Vendor's a stronger card for sure, but I think we want the other Veteran here. This way we can also block Phoenix Chick if we want to. And then I think we hold back this guy and just send in with Adeline alone. Yeah, I definitely think Phantom here was better because now we're gaining extra life, which feels great. Okay, now I think it's time to force them to have it. So we can block Adeline here, and then maybe like a token here. I think we still want to hang on to our life gain sources. Although I guess we could block with Veteran, because then we could get another Veteran or another Phantom going. Yeah, I think maybe it's alright at this point. I don't really want to block Phantom here, because they could bring it back as like a 2/2, which would be annoying. Okay, finally got the extra land, which is super important because now we can go into a Neem Pakal. Could also go Vendor. Or just Hamlet Vanguard. Actually, wait a second, that's not a non-token human. Maybe a Neem Pakal, and then that'll be a 2/3, and we'll just start going. Yeah, this feels good. So they can bring back Squee. Okay, now we can go another Phantom plus Baird and get some extra guys, or we can just go like huge Vanguard. I think we want the Phantom though. Phantom plus Baird feels better. So let's do it. Yeah. It's a little bit dicey on the damage we're taking here. So I think we leave the Phantoms alive, or up in the air, to block. Now we've got tons of blockers, and we're at 4, which is super crucial, so we don't just die to Lightning Strike. They've already used 2. Okay. So now I think we... Let's see, do we just maybe... I think we just throw a 1/1 in front of this Feldon. Let's see, do we die to Monstrous Rage? Blocks, blocks. I guess we could die to Monstrous Rage here. If they have exactly Monstrous Rage. So maybe we double block it? Yeah, this is... But then, like, otherwise they draw 2 cards. Yeah, I think we do respect him. And block like this. Oh yeah, we have a bunch of life gain triggers, we should be fine. Yep, it's gonna do it. It is a little bit strange moving away from the Knight Errant of Eos and Resolute Reinforcement package in Naya, but I think it actually kind of makes sense with like those Hamlet Vanguards. They are huge. Hand looks great. Yeah, I'm so excited about this deck. It's just like all the creatures do cool things. It's it's just great. I love it. And I think the mana finally feels right. Because this way, we're like having 17 sources of both red and green, and then 21 sources of white. That's like such good mana. And it's all coming to play untapped. Let's get Inti going. So I think because we have enough land here, we just try to not play Thran Portal against Mono Red, because this is just so much pain. So let's just go Cavern of Souls. And then I think we want to get... Let's see, we can get Inti going. I kind of like Vanguard here, though, because Vanguard like protects our veteran, which we do not want to have die anytime soon. So... like, if they have, like, Lightning Strike, then they won't be able to target it for at least a turn. Okay, there's Catilda. Oh my god, we're gonna have so much fun. Okay, I know I could have played NT there. Nah, it's fine. Alright, so let's go Catilda. How does this work? So if I go green here and white here, we go Catilda. And now I should be able to go white from veteran. And NT with the rest. Yeah, this feels just like so good. The question is, okay, we're at 20, so I think we're okay to power up the Warden here. Like, we gained a bunch of life. They're going to throw... Actually, if they have Squee next turn, I think I want to have this stuff untapped. So I think we sit. It's like, turn 3 is a super crucial turn for Mono Red. They either do Godric or they do Squee. And I don't want to be just totally tapped out for it. Okay, so I think... So we could just take it here and then, like, next turn, like, wait and have Catilda just, like, give everything a +1/+1 counter. That would be one way to go about it. We could also, like, force them to have it and, like, block here, and see what they do. Because I think we still have a fair amount of power just with these three alone. So I'm kind of tempted to just, like, force them to empty their hand here. We'd rather it go into our creatures than our face. Yeah, I think we do it this way. Sure. Yeah, that feels really good. Okay, so now let's have this be... I don't think it really matters. Let's have it be green. And now we can just go back on the offense. I think we send maybe like Catilda plus veteran since we don't really want to block with either one of those. Yeah, actually, since we're at 16, I think we just swing out and just race them. We're pushing a ton of damage. And Mono Red doesn't block very well. Like, this deck just feels so powerful. Oh, they forgot about the ward. Oh, that's so awkward. Oh my god. Oh, good old on the board tricks. Never ceases to fail. I mean, I've done that too. Like, we've all been there, right? But it is kind of funny. All right, let's do one more here with the Naya. You know, I think if for no other reason than, like, lots of colors are fun, I think I'm having more fun with the Naya deck. But I think the Boros deck is, like, seriously good also. So I think it's more like, I don't know, more laser focused, but that's okay. Leading out here with veteran, since next turn we can go veteran plus warden to start doing stuff. Or we can go Catilda and then more stuff. Oh god, and we've got Kellen. God, this deck is nuts. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Alright, I think the play here is we get Catilda going, and then... so we have to play Catilda first so that we can turn this thing into mana. and then we'll use that to play another veteran. And like, when you start getting stupid mana with Matilda, like, oh my god, this deck just goes so hard. Alright. So we functionally have 5 mana. We could just make some White Knights. But I think we can just do all of this instead, which is kind of more fun. So we get like a 2/3, a 2/2, and a 1/2. Yeah, we get more stuff, so that sounds better to me. Alright, so we start with... Let's see, we have 5 mana. I guess it doesn't matter the order here. And then we still get to we could get Warden going here, but again, with the turn 3, I think we just want to chill out for just a minute, just in case they have something like Squee or something else. We also already have like a ton of power here, so as long as we just like don't mess up. Sure. So this will be a 3/2. So I think we just double block the adversary like that and let them choose who they want to kill. Yeah, now we can start just completely going off. So we've got 3, 5, 7 mana. So let's make some 2/2s. I guess let's leave 1 mana for Spellbook Vendor, and then like Kellen. Yeah, so we'll do it like this. We'll go white, 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 and there for the recruiters. And then we'll use... Yeah, this is getting completely out of hand. Use 1 white here to give Kellen the roll, and then attack with Kellen, draw the card, do the thing. Oh my god, this deck is so nuts! Oh man. Like, it shouldn't be legal to be having this much fun. Yeah, that's right. Alright guys, you gotta try this stuff seriously. It's awesome. Alright, so let's take a look at the stats here. We'll be back for more fun tomorrow, but real quick, let's take a look. Alright, so as it stands, and I've done a bunch of different versions of both decks. Boros Humans is at 62% win rate, so 102 wins, 62 losses. NAYAHUMANS is at 59% win rate, 63 wins and 43 losses. So slightly smaller sampling size, and also just a complete... I did so many versions and variations of the deck. So the overall for this is NAYAHUMANS. We're at 65% against mono red, which is great. Totally crushing mono white, 10-1. And then Selesnya Enchantments is a rough match, for at least for past versions of this deck. Same with Boros. Blue white is pretty good. Mono black is slightly positive, and then the Picnic Ruiner deck is kind of 50-50. Orzhov also 50-50. Esper not great. Mono blue is excellent. Dimir is great. The Simic Artifacts deck is good, and looks like we're doing well against the Mirror with Naya. A couple other decks here. Domain is kind of rough. But anyways, with the most recent version, which is quite different, the one that you just saw, it's currently 100% win rate, so it's 3-0. And I did make big changes to make this deck. So the previous version before that was not doing so great. So I did a lot of different stuff that worked with various different degrees of success. But yeah, this most recent version is like, I would call it like Value Town, in the sense that like every card has like is like a value card, like a 2-for-1 at least. So yeah, take that for what you will. And then let's take a look at the Boros. So for Boros, this version, the most recent version, I guess we did 1-1. So it's going okay. But I think that overall, I think that the game plan is sound. The problem with Boros is that its mono-red matchup is just not as good. And I think part of the reason there is that the green gives you like the crazy nutso like 11/11 Hamlet Vanguards. And then also just the out-of-hand turns that you saw with Catilda, where you just have like a bazillion mana and just going bonkers on your turn, which feels really good, by the way. So, but on the other hand, Boros does really well against a lot of other matchups. So, yeah, pick your poison, I guess. It also struggles a little bit with Domain. And Jund. Jund just sort of outvalues it. The older version of Boros, I should say. So who knows for the new version, but I think after having played both, I will be honest, I'm having more fun with the Naya deck. It's just kind of more my speed. It's just got so much ridiculous nonsense that is happening all the time. Yeah, I love it. So anyways, we will see you next time.